All right, look, I'm just going to say it. Detroit is firing on all cylinders. I'm going to go over and talk to Breakingviews' Anthony Curry, who's with me at the North American International Auto Show. I had to do it. Somebody had to say it.
Someone did. Luckily it was you. Well, I'll tell you what, Rhonda, with those kind of bad puns, you can come and work for us if you want.
Maybe I will. Yeah. But seriously, things are working here.
Yeah, there's a lot around the show that really stands out. Lexus over there, Lexus, one of Toyota's brands, known for its luxury cars. Well, they're not the only ones pushing them this year really hard. You've got Cadillac, which won Best Car of the Year for its new luxury brand. Didn't sell too many last year, about 7,000, but you know, it's a good car, and they really want to get into the business. As does Ford with its Lincoln brand. They're pushing that as well. And loads of others coming to this market thinking, if we're going to make money anywhere this year, it's going to be in America, and maybe with the economy picking up a bit, we'll get more traction on our luxury cars. And guess what?
Margins are better,
Margins
right?
are much better on luxury cars.
So another big story here is pickup trucks.
That's right, you see them all over the place. It's a bit like going back to the future, to a decade ago, when pickup trucks were all the rage, along with SUVs, and these have really great margins. So it's a great, if you can sell lots of these, it's great for your stock. Now, this is the new one from GM, and this morning we had Ford unveiling its concept for the next 150. They're calling it Atlas at the moment. No idea yet exactly when that's coming out. But here's the thing about trucks. Right? As I said, they've got great margins, but also sales of trucks are very much correlated by about 95% to an improvement in housing stocks, which is what we're seeing. It's slow, but we're seeing it. Now, forget about that for a moment. If GM manages to pick up 1 percentage point of market share with this new product, let's just assume that happens. Citigroup saying this, it could actually earn an incremental 1.2 billion before tax.
Wow.
Which is about 15% of its pre-tax earnings last year. So that's just incremental. And that equates to a pretty big whack onto your market cap if you extend that into the valuation.
You know, when you talk about the economy improving, that means the subprime borrowers can come back in, and also it's when you have the improving economy, people can replace these old cars. A lot of cars are so old.
Yeah, I mean, look at subprime. It's already coming back. Last year, I think the borrowing, at least in the asset-backed market for subprime autos, went up by 50%. So that's just going to continue. And that, again, you know, not only have you got the fact that you are selling more cars, but also if you're GM and Ford, you've got a financing unit, so you actually keep a lot of the financing profit as well. So that's a pretty good way to go. Now, as for the other question, what was that, Rhonda?
We're talking about actually what happens in terms of replacing your cars, because we haven't fully seen that
trucks
happen
actually are the best example of this. Now, overall, you look at the car fleet, it's about 11 and a half years old on average. And people have been waiting for 2 years for people to say, okay, let's start scrapping our cars and buying new ones. Hasn't quite happened yet because the economy's not been brilliant. Well, guess what? Trucks are now, the average age is over 13 years on the road now. And people love their trucks. So if they're going to replace them, you think they replace their trucks first because they're older. And you've now got much better fuel efficient cars. Some of these are now coming with filing cabinets in the middle, so you can, little filing cabinets in the dashboard, or well, in the central console, so you can keep your paperwork. It should be a great time. Now, who knows how well the economy is going to go, but just put it in some perspective, right? If this goes really well, if the economy picks up, people think, I'm going to start buying these cars, then the whole idea of just 15 million units this year being sold overall is going to be underplayed. And also, it's going to be cars like this, vehicles like this, where the margins are so much higher. And that's great for stocks.
How great will it be? We actually saw a pretty decent run in auto stocks at the end of last year. But if profits are going up, I guess those stocks can keep climbing too, do you think?
They should do. People are a little bit worried about market share. GM and Ford lost a bit last year, but they're also losing a little bit in a growing market. So I mean, it's a tricky one, right? I mean, both Ford and GM are trading around 10 times earnings, which in general terms means there's not much growth expected. But it's a bit of a tricky calculation to use for metric to use for auto companies. But at the moment, I look at these car companies and I think, even though Europe's a bit of an issue, these are great companies to own for the long term because it just, you know, so much margins on these companies and these trucks should be really good for stock prices.
All right.
So why not? It's probably worth a flutter. I wouldn't go full pelt, certainly not yet, but it's worth a flutter.
All right, Breakingviews, Anthony Curry. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
I'm Rhonda Schaffler. This is Reuters.